All right, so I am here with Mark Binet, and I have found out something fascinating. Mark, I didn't realize that there's so many problems going on in your relationship right now. Um, tell me just a little bit about the problems that you're experiencing. What's like the biggest problem you have right now?
Are you mocking me?
No, I really genuinely want to know.
What's the question?
I just want to know what your biggest problem is in your relationship. You're telling me a little bit about the issues that you're having in your love life right now.
All right. So when I set up this call with you, I didn't know we were going to talk about that.
What did you think? Were you ordering a pizza? What were you thinking this call was going to be about?
I wanted to talk about some personal things about problems that I was having, and now, from the look of it,
Yeah, now we're talking about your problem. So what's the big personal problem in your love life? I don't want to pull teeth here, Mark. I just want to know what your problems are in your love life.
All right. Well, the first thing that I would say is that I have a reputation to uphold. So I probably should, at least try to keep that intact somewhat. All right. Well, the problems, you're gonna laugh at this because I made a post about this the other day, but like my woman's really into Kali. You know about Kali.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
so she's like this Hindu goddess, I think. And she's like looks like a demon, and she's got a necklace of skulls around her neck. And then
Are you intimidated by that?
Maybe a little bit, but she's standing on a guy, like I think it's Shiva. And I only know about this shit because all these empowered spiritual women are all Kali this, Kali that, and it's like she's this black demon from hell. That's really what she is, and she's got these fangs, and it's like she's breathing the fumes of hell. And so that's like my first problem, because it's like this really shitty archetype of female empowerment.
Yeah. So tell me, like, with that, how does that translate into your love life when a problem comes up? Like if you try to lead her to do something, what does she do? Does she get all Kali on you, or what is she doing?
She get all Kali on me. Yeah, man, it's like she got my balls in a vice grip. I swear, if you had a 21st century version of Kali, she'd be holding a guy's balls.
Okay. So what does that look like? Tell me, you're like, hey, I'd like you to cook us dinner tonight, something like that. And then what does she say? Oh, is that too much? You'd never lead her to do that?
Fuck, bro. No. I mean, that's the demon right there. If I can't even get close to that.
Well, tell me something that she would say. Like, tell me the biggest conflict that happened recently. How did she respond? It wouldn't even be
what she'd say. She'd get one of those pans and come after me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Get all Kali on my ass.
On your ass or on your balls?
Well, I don't have my balls, do I?
I guess not. No, you wouldn't. Okay.
No. She's wearing.
All right. So when she gets really angry like that, do you know how to resolve that conflict? Do you know how to get her to stop? Like, is she being abusive? Is she like calling you names? What's she doing?
Well, yeah. That's the thing I don't know if you've got anything like this in your life, but when your woman goes Kali on you, you got to hightail it out of there.
Okay, so you just leave the house.
I just run.
Yeah. Okay.
Why? What are you what would you suggest that I do when my woman is all up in my shit like that?
Well, so listen, so it sounds like you're not really being the man in the relationship, right? So like your woman's getting triggered by things, right? She's getting upset. And then instead of you just remaining firm and essentially setting boundaries and telling her what you want from her, and maybe leading her into being emotionally responsible and leading her into being vulnerable and just expressing what she's feeling, you're just running away. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, man. Because I don't want to start any more conflict. You feel like you stand up to a woman.
Sorry, you cut out there. What did you say about standing up to a woman?
I said if you stand up to a woman, I mean, I don't want to stand up to, Kali, whatever. It's like she's possessed by this little Sanskrit demoness. And okay. I can't do anything about you. I don't even know what you're talking about.
So you've never stood up to your woman before. You just always run away, no matter what. You never even tried, like, hey, this is not appropriate.
That would be toxic. Like when a woman gets all, has all of her feelings and goes off crazy, you've got to basically provide the space for that so she can, she can vent whatever. Only problem is my woman vents so much that I have to actually leave the kitchen.
Okay. So you try as long as possible to be an emotional toilet for her, right? So she can just dump whatever you want, she wants onto you, and until you can't handle it anymore, and then you run away.
Well, I wouldn't say it like that, but that's kind of right. I mean, Listen, my version of masculinity is a man just holds the space. Sometimes you can only hold that space for so long, and then you got to get the fuck out of there. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Well, and so I'm wondering, what does your sex life look like at this point? I'm just wondering because it sounds like there's a real lack of polarity in the relationship. So I'm just wondering how attracted your woman even is to you at this point.
Well, see, this is where my whole reputation thing is kind of on the line. So I masturbate a good bit. That's kind of funny, but that's not kind of funny. So I don't appreciate you laughing.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's just really hard. Nothing personal. I'm trying to be professional, and I'm here to serve you as a coach. So tell me more about your masturbating.
You want to hear about my masturbating? What do you want to know?
Yeah, just the frequency, and then compare that to how often you're actually, having sex.
I masturbate 3 times a day.
Okay. That's a fair bit.
Huh?
That's a fair bit.
Well, yeah, I'm stimulated. Well, yeah. I'm actually probably addicted to porn.
Yeah, it sounds like you might need some help with that. And how about with your woman?
Yeah, that's not good.
She doesn't.
Well, I mean, who wants to fuck Kali? You're gonna get your dick cut off, aren't you?
Okay. And are you initiating at all then? Or have you kind of given up?
I sleep half the month out in the garage, so there is no initiating this at all.
Did she put you there, or what? Why are you spending time in the garage?
Yeah, she put me there. Kali put me there.
Okay. All right. So, and you just followed her lead.
Well, I don't know what you mean by lead. I wasn't aware.
Well, okay. So here's the problem, Mark. So, like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in your relationship, and it sounds like your woman's doing a lot of leading, right? She's telling you what to do. Sounds like her wounds and triggers are leading a lot of the relationship, right? Instead of you setting boundaries and saying, like, listen, this is not appropriate, and leading her into being vulnerable and healing those wounds and healing that trauma. It sounds like you're just letting her dump on you, and then running away when you can't deal with it anymore, and then being told to go live in the garage because she isn't very attracted to you and doesn't want to deal with you, right? So what you need to do is you need to start stepping up in a really big way. All right.
She'll leave me if I do that.
Well, and you know what? That's possible. That's possible.
But I've invested a lot in this relationship, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I got bad news for you.
Oh, yeah. You got bad news for me?
Yeah, I got really bad news for you. Either you turn this around now by stepping up and starting to lead and have and respect yourself by not submitting yourself to this abuse, as well as this leadership that your woman is doing. Otherwise, she's gonna leave you, and she's probably already cheating on you.
All right. Oh, hello. Now, what about this? Because this is kind of like what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know how women have been like oppressed for thousands of years, and the patriarchy and the toxic masculinity. And it's like, I feel like this is the least I can do, because she's got a lot of anger inside of her. So as her man, I can hold the space for all that.
Yeah. See, great. That's not serving her. That's the problem. You think that that's serving her. You think that that's helping her, but all you're doing is enabling her to stay in her trauma, right? In her unhealed trauma. So if you want to serve her, you need to start stepping up as a man, right? And that means having boundaries. That means leading her. That means providing a safe space for her to be vulnerable with you, but not tolerating this abuse, not tolerating this leadership. You need to get over your guilt that you have.
I feel like if I do anything, she'd just chop my head off, buddy.
Yeah, well, you know what? It sounds like you need some support with this. I get that. You need a lot more information about how to actually function in this relationship, how to actually deal with these situations where your woman is getting angry at you, how to deal with this situation that she's leading you into sleeping in the garage, right? These are really big problems. If you want a healthy relationship where you're leading everything and she's actually letting go of control and just receiving your leadership because you actually care about her and you love her, and she's actually working on becoming vulnerable and letting and no longer blaming you, right? A polarized relationship where it's based on mutual respect. Well, the first step to do that is to join our now remade membership group, Relationship Your Dreams. Yeah, this is the starting support, right? And you're like, it sounds like you've got some pretty big issues that are going on. You're probably going to need additional support, but first you need to figure out what's even going wrong, because it sounds like you've got a lot of beliefs that are really sabotaging your relationship, that are really not helping at all. And you need to get those beliefs straightened out. You need to understand what's going on and how polarity is going to fix everything in your relationship, right? Where there are no conflicts anymore, where you're having as much sex as you want, right? Where you're sleeping in your bed instead of in the garage.
It's actually pretty comfortable garage, but I don't see. You were talking about leadership. What if I try when she doesn't change?
Yeah, well, she probably won't at first. And if you just give up and go back into your cot in the garage, then she's never going to change. That's why you need a lot of information about how to actually do this, how to go through this process and start polarizing things. So what I want you to do, Mark, is go to relationshipofyourdreams.com. This is a membership group that we restarted. It was really successful, and we haven't advertised it in any way in months. Okay, this is a community of both men and women who are really practicing this stuff, right? A lot of men who were in your exact situation, right? I think like 4 or 5 of them were sleeping in the garage like 6 months ago or 8 months ago. Now they're sleeping in their bed. Right? That's really good progress, right? Now they're actually having sex instead of just masturbating by themselves 3 times a day. That could be you, right? That can be you, but you got to start actually doing something. You got to start learning this information, because polarity can fix all of your issues, Mark. Imagine being surrounded by, a whole bunch of men and women who are studying this exact same thing, who are actually taking it seriously, who are learning from each other, and are actually making real changes in their lives. You realize that can be you. But you got to actually make that choice. You got to go to relationshipofyourdreams.com and get a lifetime membership. And that is your first step to really changing everything that you are experiencing. Unless you want to just stay masturbating in your garage.
Well, all right. Well, thank you for that information. I've got some different issues, but one of them is like, I feel like I get excited about stuff, but then I don't keep to it. So like, say I go into this group, become a member, but like, excited about it, I just slip back into my old patterns. And because I do see that there are some patterns, like I've been in these kind of relationships before.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to lie to you, Mark, and tell you that based on everything that you're telling me, by watching, a whole bunch of videos, it's going to fix absolutely everything. At some point, you're probably going to need the Academy program. We're going to push you through all your fears and what seems to be very limiting beliefs about yourself and about your role in the relationship. But first, right, we're going to do some serious deep preliminary work where you need to learn what you should actually be doing, right? Understand what this dream relationship looks like. Understand why what you're creating right now is a complete disaster, and how you're not serving your woman in any way, right? If you don't make even that first step, well, you're going to live in your garage forever until your woman kicks you out of the house. Okay, that's the choice that you're dealing with. Do you want to be kicked out of the house or stay in your garage forever, or do you want to have an amazing relationship? This is the first step. Yeah, can you do that? Can you commit to that first step, Mark?
Well, I mean, it sounds good because like when this relationship started, I felt like I was a man, and then like a year goes by, then 2 years goes by, and then I'm like, I'm not even a man anymore. I'm sleeping in the garage, I'm jacking off, and she's like throwing plates at me because she's possessed by a collie.
Yeah, well, yeah, it doesn't sound like you're a man at all. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. And you know what? You're in a very similar situation to so many men, where they start out at least somewhat polarized in the relationship. They're leading more on dates and they're kind of taking charge and making decisions. And then, as the time goes on, and especially when you move in together, right? And then things like, figuring out chores and all that kind of stuff has to be decided. And especially once you have kids, well, this is what happens as men get into this very reverse polarized or depolarized state where they're doing a lot of masturbating in the garage. Right?
So how did that happen though? Like, how did she get my balls? You know how like they say Samson and Delilah, she cut off his hair in the night, and it's like she cut my balls off in the night. And I just woke up and I was like, I don't got any more balls.
Well, listen, Mark, it's really easy during the honeymoon period where you both really like each other and you're both kind of putting up a bit of a front and playing a game and not really being yourselves. And it's harder for, your woman to really express or to really get triggered in the same kind of way. But over time, that honeymoon period ends, all of the triggers really start coming up for both you and for her, and you revert back to this very depolarized state, right? So what I want to show you is how to make sure that never happens. Like, did you know that you can have a polarized honeymoon period indefinitely, right? Like that doesn't actually have to end as long as you're able to maintain that polarity by staying in charge, by having solid boundaries, by leading all the time, by not letting her lead.
No, I didn't know that.
No, of course you didn't.
So what is that group called again?
So it is called, so you go to relationshipofyourdreams.com, and it is the Relationship of Your Dreams membership group. So it's very much like the free group that you're in, right? Only with far better content, and you'll be surrounded by people who are really serious like you, right? Because you're feeling serious now. You really want to do this. You really want to make these changes. You want to move out of the garage.
I'm concerned. And I know you don't have forever to talk about this, so I'll try to keep it short. But I'm just concerned that I get excited about this, but then it's just like the relationship. Over time, it just goes downhill. And so if I sign up in this membership only group, I'm like hoping there's some people there that I can interact with or talk with who are like excited and can keep me in this game, because yeah.
Well, we got almost 200 members that are also very serious about actually having a real dream relationship. And you know what? A whole bunch of members have created the dream relationship, right? A lot of men and women that I've been working with. And this really cool guy who also is named Mark Binet, he's worked with a whole bunch of them too. But he doesn't live in his garage. He actually has a dream relationship with his woman. It's weird. What a coincidence that you have the same name.
It's a parallel universe.
Yeah. Yeah. You look a lot like him too.
All right. Well, maybe I'll reach out to him.
Yeah, you should. Well, he's in the group too. He's great. So,
all right, man. Thank you. I appreciate this.
Yeah. So you're welcome. So right after this call, I want you to go to relationshipofyourdreams.com, and anyone watching, same thing. This group is for both men and women. And it is a massive, huge step to really making this shift and understanding everything you need to know about polarity, feminine communication, masculine communication, how to lead as a man, how to let go of control as a woman. If you don't make these choices to really start growing, then you're not going to grow. You're not going to make these shifts, and your love life is going to continue to be a disaster, just like yours is right now, Mark. So go to relationshipyourdreams.com, and I will see you in the membership group.